Library Rockhounds presented by the Danbury Library. My name is Darcy, and each month I'd like to introduce you to various places in our area where we can hunt for and learn about interesting rocks. This month I took a trip down Route 7 to see an area that I can't wait to share with you. But before I do, let's review our rules that all rockhounds should know and remember. Rule number 1, we never go into the woods or strange places alone. Rule number 2, we do not go on private land without permission. Rule number 3, we do not litter and we clean up any litter we find, even if it's not ours. Rule number 4, we only take a few rocks. We leave some behind for others to find. And rule number 5, we do not remove rocks from national and state parks. It's illegal to do so. So now that we know the rules, let's go on our adventure. Today we're heading out to Kent Falls State Park. It's about a 55-minute drive from Danbury down Route 7. There are a number of interesting rocks along the trail at Kent Falls, including some granite, mica, and marble. Since Kent Falls is a state park, it's important that we remember our rules of not taking anything from the park. So there's another rule we need to remember when at the falls. This is to stay out of the water. While some parts of the water at Kent Falls looks peaceful, it is not a safe place to swim. The area is rocky, with high drops and rapidly flowing water. For our safety, we need to stay on the paths and not try to get too close to the falls themselves. Kent Falls became a state park in 1919 with a gift of 200 acres by the White Memorial Foundation. Other chunks of land were donated or purchased over the years, making the park now 295 acres wide. Trails around the park were developed in the 1930s by the Civil Works Administration. By the mid-1970s, reconstruction was done on the trails by the Youth Conservation Corps of Connecticut. The falls drop a total of 250 feet in under a quarter of a mile. The largest drop is more than 70 feet tall. After dropping down the falls, the water from Falls Brook continues on to the Housatonic River. As we can see, the falls aren't made up of one single drop. The water flows down multiple falls and cascades. Multiple falls and cascades like these tend to form where there are alternating hard and soft layers of rock. So how do we get these layers? Well, this part of Connecticut was once made of coral reefs millions of years ago when the earth looked completely different. As the continents shifted and moved about, the giant ocean which once covered our area disappeared. The coral reefs which were under that ocean were then squeezed up and buried under other forms of rock. Over time, increasing heat and pressure caused the minerals in these rocks to recrystallize, turning them into marble. Now, some of this marble mixed with sand and mud in the area, causing it to be harder than marble that was without the sand. This harder mixture stood up against bombardment of water, while the softer parts wore away, and this is what gives us the cascades. This wearing away is a process called erosion. Now, it's hard for us to recognize the effects of erosion when we're just looking at the falls themselves. But if we look a little closer, we can see some strange pits in the rock. They're round, smooth, and look kind of like holes. These are potholes. Potholes are an interesting form of erosion, and Kent Falls has a lot of them. A pothole is a round hollow carved out of the rock by pebbles. When a body of water moves along a riverbed or stream or ocean floor, it sometimes picks up small rocks and pebbles and carries them along with it. These rocks and pebbles, after years of being bounced around in the current, are nice and smooth to the touch. So this one here, I found on a beach in Maine. Look how smooth it is. Because this has been moved around on the ocean floor for years and years, grinding against the waves and other rocks it found along the way. But sometimes in riverbeds, these rocks and pebbles that are picked up kind of get caught in what are called eddies. Eddies are areas where the current flows in a circular pattern. The rock is stuck in these eddies. It's going round and around and around, and it's kind of caught in a loop. It can't really get out. And while it's going round and around, it's rubbing against the rock that is making up the stream or riverbed. And it's going like this, over and over. It's rubbing this way and it's rubbing that way in a circular pattern. And if it does this long enough, it starts to actually wear a hole. And it goes deeper and deeper because the rock is still moving round and around. And that's what causes the potholes. As the pothole is being worn deeper and deeper and deeper into that rock, the pebbles that initially started the pothole, well, they begin to wear away as well and get smaller and smaller. But more rocks and pebbles are being brought down from the river, getting caught in that eddy, and beginning the cycle again of spinning round and around and wearing down that pothole deeper and deeper. As long as the water continues to keep flowing and more pebbles being brought down the river get caught in that eddy, that pothole will continue to get deeper and deeper and wider. So when you first enter the park, you can easily see the base of the falls. But if you want to continue up to see the whole of the falls, there is a trail that leads up with lots of platforms along the way where you can actually get very nice views. But the steps on the trail are a little big, so this might be a little difficult for people with short legs. But there's lots to explore without having to climb the trail up the falls, including the base of the falls, a babbling brook, a covered bridge, and a large picnic ground. Parking is free for all cars with Connecticut license plates. Parking is limited, however, and once the lot is full, the park is considered closed until enough people have left, usually 10 cars. So if you would like to go to the park, it's best to go in the early morning before it gets too busy. Thank you for joining me this month as we explored Kent Falls State Park. Tune in next time as we explore another area and look for more interesting rocks to find. Until then, happy exploring and stay curious. Bye, everyone.